Hey everyone, this is Dave Warner with Small Town Life, and this is a switcheroo today. This is me in front of the camera, and I've got Scott Kinville helping me out here. He's doing his first production here, so the little Padawan is.
Hey, listen, it's going to be a little bit like bingo today. Don't worry about that. Yeah.
We don't know what's going to happen, or we don't know what number you're going to call.
3, 4, 1.
Yeah,
I don't know.
All right.
I don't know.
All
Maybe
right.
I'm just going to stop playing with these buttons right now.
I know. All right. Stop playing with the buttons. All right. You notice I
fine.
don't do that much. All right. And that other voice you hear over here is Travis Heiser, owner of the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dawgs, for our traditional beginning of season show, right? Because we've been doing this, what?
A few years. Yeah, a few years. This is my 17th summer, so with you, it's probably been about 6 years now.
Yeah.
So
Yep. I actually started. Let's go through the story of that because it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
I just walked onto the field one time, and you were like, "Who the f is this guy?"
Yeah, this guy's like, I don't know who he is. He's walking on the field. He's talking to players, right? And I'm like, who the heck is this guy? And next thing I know, here we are today, and kind of build a good relationship.
Yep.
So we're excited to continue to work with My Little Falls and everybody in the Mohawk Valley.
Yeah, it was. I was actually shooting for the rival, Amsterdam team.
Yeah, we don't want to.
Yeah, we don't want to talk about that. Well, I was working in Amsterdam and living in Little Falls. I was like, hey, they said we don't have anybody to cover the game, and I said, well, I live right there. I'll go cover it. And that was the first time walking out there. Perfect. And that's always been my thing. Make like you own the place. Just walk out there.
You definitely act like you own the place. That was good. That was good.
So I want to start out with, how did last year look to you? How did you end up feeling about the end of the season?
Obviously, only one person's happy at the end of the season, right? That's the one who wins the whole thing.
Who will not be mentioned.
Who will not be mentioned. And that team that we're not mentioning is a great organization. They do a nice job, and ultimately, our goal every year is to win a championship. But overall, I think we had some bright spots in last year. I think we had some really good players that came and got better throughout the season, and ultimately we got to keep our focus on what the goal is, right? Yeah, we want to win a championship for the people in the Mohawk Valley, but ultimately these kids are coming here to get better, to play baseball and try to get to the next level. So I've really changed my mindset from trying to win championships to trying to help kids that are coming from all over the country get better at the game of baseball. Some for first time, for many of them being away from home in a crazy area. But ultimately, I think our kids did get better. I think we had one of the best catchers in the league, and again, so I think all of that, you put that together, and ultimately, we're going to continue to grow.
Do you think the other teams in the PGCBL have the same attitude about player development? I'm not trying to disparage them at all, but I think you are always trying to get that blue collar player. You have that attitude, and if you're more focused on developing players as opposed to winning championships, do you feel like that's the league perspective as well?
Yeah, I think obviously everybody wants to win, but I think ultimately for us it's just trying to get guys to where they want to be. I think as a league we've grown. We have 13 teams in the league. And again, we recruit the blue-collar kid. We want the kid that wants to be here, wants to get better. We don't recruit the kid that's bigger than the game. So for us, that's really been our MO since I purchased the team in 2014. And, I think if we get those blue-collar kids and we build that culture and of pride, and there's just a way we do things, I think then championships will take care of itself.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
And you did mention that some of these kids are coming from places where they've never experienced the rural farm, small town life. Any stories come to mind of?
Everybody always talks about the farm.
Yeah, the farm.
We did a documentary on with you guys. I think a lot of times we've had a story where a player was staying at the farm, drove directly past the farm when they were supposed to be dropped off to stay there, said there's no way I can stay there. Turned around, thought about it, came back and ended up loving it and ended up coming back for a second summer. So, that's kind of a fun story, but, we have great host families here and the community support has been unbelievable. So again, that's kind of what we're looking at.
Do the other teams go through the same process of having to find host families and meals and things that I see you going after? Is that they similar or
Yeah,
do they?
it's pretty standard, right? So the players come. We want to put players in situations that we don't want to put our own families in. So there's a variety of things, host families, as well as off-campus housing that we use as well, where players can stay with a roommate and whatnot. COVID really hurt with host families. We used to have all host families, and now we're predominantly using off-campus housing in the county. But again, it works well. There's pros and cons to both situations. So, but again, I think our players really enjoy their time here.
Do we have anybody called up like from the last crop?
No, I think, we got a couple players that I think have a shot of getting called up this year. I think we have Tyler Schaff, who's playing with the Washington Nationals. He made it to AAA last year. We have Jimmy Joyce, who obviously is a fan favorite, who played for 2 summers.
I've got one of his signed baseballs.
He's in the Mariners organization, and I think he's got a shot this year to make it. Those are the 2 guys that I think this year have a legitimate shot. And throw in Zach Venero, a local guy as well, who is still grinding it out. And I think
he's also a fan favorite.
He is a fan favorite. Played for us for 3 summers, 2 championships. His credentials are very good for us. So.
Yeah. So, Scott had a good question about, how you go about recruiting.
Yeah, Travis. So what is the process of recruiting the players to come into the Diamond Dogs? Because obviously your recruitment process probably starts as soon as the season ends previously.
It's funny you asked, but the recruiting process is actually going on during the season as well. So, for us, it's like anything else in life. It's about relationships, and I've built relationships over the last 17 years with college coaches throughout the country, and then I've been very fortunate enough to have former players that did not make it to the big leagues or get drafted, went into the coaching avenue as well. So for me, I first and foremost, I reach out to my contacts. I want to get guys from colleges that I have relationships with. A lot of coaches can tell you what they want to tell you just to get their player here, but I try to go to those guys first that I've been loyal to and take players from them. And then really it just goes into emails and reaching out to different colleges and finding those players that I think will fit here in the Mohawk Valley. And again, I think this year is no different. I think we got a really good group of kids coming in. We got about 36 players coming from all the way from Oregon and Arizona, from Texas, to right in our own backyard. So I think we got a really good mix of players this year, and I think that that definitely the process started in August, and we've signed my last player yesterday. So
wow,
it's
so we're timely.
It's a timely process, and you lose guys in the spring to injuries, and then you always want to have a plan B and see what else is out there, and it comes down to relationships and coaches trusting you to send their players here. So that's really what we're focused on with recruiting.
Is it like that all through collegiate ball where all the coaches out there are looking for that great opportunity for their players to develop during the summer?
Yeah, I think, summer collegiate baseball has gotten really, really big. When I first started, there wasn't as many leagues as there is now. Now there's over hundreds of leagues.
Really?
So it's gotten very competitive because there's opportunities for players to play all over the place where there might normally not have been 15 years ago. So it has gotten competitive in the recruiting process. But again, I think for us, it's been those relationships and those connections. And I think every other team that is a summer collegiate within the United States is doing the same thing. And I think every college coach has their connections. I think some college coaches have 3 connections, 4 connections with people they want to send guys to, and that's what they do. And I think there's a lot of colleges out there from Division I to JUCO, and it's really that's how it works throughout the process.
Yeah, and you as a team owner, why do you do this? Because
so that's the $1 million question.
I haven't asked you that before, I don't think.
Yeah, and the reason, this is going to be my 17th summer. I started off coaching, then was the assistant GM, then the GM, and then the team sold. I stayed on. We kind of revamped it. And then in 2014, the owner approached me and said, I think I'm ready to get out. And that was a decision that I had to make. He offered me the team before it went public. And the reality is that I've truly felt that the people of the Mohawk Valley, and specifically kids, needed the game of baseball. I think it's one of those sports where a lot of kids play it. A lot of kids don't have the opportunity to go to Major League Baseball games. So the reality was I bought it because I wanted to keep it here in the Valley, because I think if they sold it, I think it would have been moved. So that was the main reason I decided to take that jump and purchase it. And again, my whole MO has always been, affordable family fun. And that's really what I want to do. Getting kids out to games we have people here that struggle. People can't afford to go to a Major League Baseball game, unfortunately. And so
especially these days. What's the average ticket? I mean, yours are $6, right?
Yeah, our tickets are $6, and it's super affordable to get in. You can probably find a free ticket anywhere, throughout the Valley if you look hard enough. But yeah, Major League Baseball game is probably going to cost you an average of $500 per family to sit in the nosebleeds.
Easily.
Not be a part of it, right? So
you do that some, right, Scott?
Yeah, well, not quite. I couldn't afford it anymore myself, so that's
yeah, I know.
and those tickets aren't very great, and the Yankees, the Mets, it's a lot of corporate partnerships, corporate tickets. So really, the average fan can't afford to go. So I think for us, people get to enjoy baseball in its purest form. I think now we have kids that are trying to get to that next level. It's pure. Kids are really out there grinding it out every day because they want to get to the next level.
Right.
So
yeah, and you think the local kids are thinking about the Diamond Dogs, right?
Yeah,
because they're exposed to that.
Yeah, and again, a lot of kids in our area, they see our logo, they know it's a Diamond Dogs, and I truly, want to have every local kid with aspirations of being a Diamond Dog. Unfortunately, it doesn't always happen. Timing is always important too. But, I want kids to see if they work hard, whether it's baseball or music or dance or hockey, whatever it might be, that, they can do great things. So that's what, I hope the Diamond Dogs and people kind of see with us in the Valley.
Yeah, you said the word hockey. Don't start with Scott because
you
knew as soon as you said that word.
Hockey because I got to throw him a bone every once in a while. The hockey guy.
Travis, I want to see a promotion where you guys play with hockey sticks.
A promotion with a hockey stick would be great.
They've had cows out there and they've milked cows. I don't see a problem with that.
We've had cows, and it's funny because my buddy who's my college roommate from South Carolina, there's a team that's doing wants to do a game in the dark with glow uniforms and glow baseball.
For baseball?
Yeah, I don't know how it's going to go. But I kind of like the idea. I like wild and crazy stuff. So if anybody out there listening has any ideas of some wild and crazy things and want to help out, by all means.
Well, they do the glow in the dark golf.
Well, yeah, and you got the Savannah Bananas there and
Savannah Bananas. They
haven't done wild stuff.
They're doing wild stuff. I like, and we do some stuff like that too, right on the field. But at the end of the day, you got to find that happy medium. And I think that's something we do, so it is fun. And, and there is a baseball game going on too.
Yeah.
So.
You mentioned for professional sports, the corporate relationships are important, but they're important to you too, right?
Yeah. I mean, without our supporters and our sponsors, there's no way we could exist. I mean, that's the bottom line. I speak about blue collar players. I feel that I'm a blue collar owner too. I don't have deep pockets. The perception may be that there's hand over fist with the Diamond Dogs, but the reality,
you're getting rich off this. I can tell.
The reality is it's a labor of love, and that's really what it is. And I think my sponsors have really bought into the vision that I try to portray, and that is affordable family fun. And I think they do it because it allows me to keep my ticket prices down. I do think they see a return on their investment, and it's a great community event, to be honest with you. And I don't think there's a place where you can go and, watch a baseball game, socialize with friends, kids can run around. It's safe. And in today's world, that's where else you want to be. A safe place, baseball going on. You can have a few beers and, adults can hang out, and it's becomes an event. And that's really what we want.
And speaking of corporate sponsorships, let's go ahead and kick to a commercial, and we'll run one of those corporate sponsors.
Love it.
All right.
Visit My Little Falls and stay connected with the latest news, information, and events in the city and the area. Our mission is to generate interest in the community and connect residents in a more meaningful way by facilitating deeper conversations about how these stories will shape the future of the Mohawk Valley. Join thousands of weekly visitors who stay up to date with feature stories, interviews, videos, our event calendar, and print publication, the Mohawk Valley Express. It's about timely local news for the community, keeping citizens informed about important issues, telling about the people who live and work here, and giving locally owned businesses the opportunity to reach a very targeted audience of locals and tourists alike. It's a whole new form of media-rich content developed specifically for today's mobile lifestyle and listeners. You can download our iOS app in the iTunes Store, listen to our country music streaming radio station, or sign up for a weekly newsletter. Stop by today at mylittlefalls.com. You'll be glad you did.
We're back, and I can be like Scott. I can say, boy, that music just motivates me, but no, I'm not going to do that.
I feel like running through one of your walls right now.
Listen, that was a pretty good intro.
Yeah, it was.
Who came up with that?
I picked the music
Yeah.
and the imagery and stuff. Yeah,
DJ too, huh?
yeah, that too. Yeah.
All right, love it.
So we were talking about corporate sponsors when we went to break and things like that, and I know that is important for you to get them to support the team. Do you need more if they were interested? They hear this. What's the deal?
Yeah, I mean, we're always looking for people that want to support us, and we have sponsors from huge corporations to local mom and pop stores. I think sometimes the perception is in order to advertise, you have to be a big corporate company, and that's not the reality. And we have something for every budget, payment plans. Again, we understand that businesses and sometimes we all struggle. So if anything we can do to work through to try to get anybody else on board, big or small, if they just want to be a part of our organization, and we would love to talk more. And our email's on our website, travis@mvdiamonddogs.com, and that's really the easiest way to get a hold of me.
And that's anywhere from where to where?
Yeah, from
regionally.
Anywhere. We have sponsors from Albany area all the way to Syracuse. So and everywhere in between. So don't think that you may be an outlier, because there's always things that we can do to promote your company and based on your objectives and goals.
Okay, so let's start talking about the team, this year's team. Let's go from the coaching staff. What do we got new?
Yeah, we got Coach Luby's coming back as our head coach. Again, he's been with me for the 15 and the 17th championship, and he's
you forgot the years already, right?
I forgot the years.
2015 and 2017.
It's been too long to say the least.
That's true.
So he's coming back.
It's almost like the Cowboys.
It is. And Coach Roper's coming back again, Tyler. And then we also brought on a former player who played with me for 3 summers. His brother played for us. He's rooted here in the Mohawk Valley.
He really is.
It's Chris Palmer. He's going to kind of be a coach that will work with our pitchers in the bullpen, be a bench coach. But again, I think consistency with our staff has been a huge piece to this whole operation, from our coaching staff all the way through to our PA, to our concessions, play-by-play, all that stuff. It's the same people since I bought the team in 2014. And I think when you have consistency, good things will happen. And this year's no different from a staffing standpoint.
And I don't want to say that I saw Coach Luby out last night having a few beers at Rock Valley Brewing Company.
Coach Luby, is now here. He's actually, I got him a job in the district that I'm a principal, and he's
in
now,
Gloversville.
He's doing.
He's so joyed.
He's doing kindergarten and second grade PE, so he's tying a lot of shoes, and so he's enjoying that. And we speak a lot during the week, and he came yesterday to school after, and we met and talked about the season. So it has been nice having him here for the first time, kind of being able to go over things and meet and discuss rather than doing it over the phone. So that's been a kind of a cool experience for the first time.
So when you're talking about that team, this year's team, how does that roster look?
Listen, every year I go very optimistic. I like our roster. I think we have good players at every position. I think we have a good mix of guys, young, old. I think we have guys that can swing it. I think we have guys that are very, very fast, that we're going to be able to run the bases very well. So I'm excited as far as our players that we have coming in. I think, we have some players coming from the state of Texas, which I haven't had for a while. And, again, we started off talking about how I recruit, and how I got the kids from Texas was a former player. A former player is a director of recruiting, and he's now in Texas, and he reached out and with some players that he had relationships with, and that's how we got those guys.
That's awesome.
So
we can say y'all more.
Yeah. So they're excited to come up here, and they're coming from a big area, so we'll see how they like the Mohawk Valley. But kids come from big, small areas, rural, and I think they do love the city of Little Falls when they get here. And, everybody says it's a beautiful place. The backdrop, in my opinion, is probably the best in our league. So again, families love it, and so we're excited to see. So they'll not only those players from Texas, but the rest of the country.
Yeah, I know you don't like to name anybody, but have we got any real standouts like that you would go?
To be honest with you, they're all pretty good. I mean, we got the kid from Fairfield is our starting shortstop. He's hitting over 300. He's doing well. We have some very good pitchers coming that I think are going to do very, very well. But again, when they get here, it's just trying to get that team chemistry going, and if we can make that happen, I think then things will take care of itself.
Yeah. Talk about the game itself. So now we're at the home opener, May 30th.
Yeah,
right?
May 30th is a home opener. We're going to be playing the Albany Athletics. They're a team that we typically play an exhibition game with, and they're coming in. And I think it's good for our players, our fans, and my staff to kind of get a game underneath their belt before we start the PGCBL season. So, May 30th is the home opener. We're really excited, and then we're home, I believe, that Saturday as well. So, we got a lot of groups booked, and that's another thing. A lot of Little Leagues are already set, ready to come. Our month of June looks like it's going to be a pretty good show, so I'm really excited about it, as long as Mother Nature cooperates.
There's always that. We had the Canadian fires last year, and we had rain, and it was cold. And
yeah, I mean, we've been through a lot. If you think about it, we had all that, then we had COVID. It's been a rough couple years. So I guess I'm looking for some normalcy this summer. So again, that's the next thing. If anybody's out there looking to bring a group of friends or coworkers to a game, definitely reach out to us, through the website or through the email, Travis at mvdiamonddogs.com. We're always looking to entertain, groups of people that, would like a good night out.
And we'll talk about the game experience, though, for those people and those kids who show up. What are they going to do?
Yeah, here's the thing. People think baseball, but it's really more than just a game. We have our fans that come for the game of baseball because they're baseball dirtbags, which we like. But we also have people that come to our games who have no idea who we're playing. They don't know whether we win or lose, but they come for the experience. And I think the experience that we can provide is a safe, affordable family fun. And it's just that. We have promotions that happen between the games for kids can go onto the field. They can run the bases, water balloon tosses, wild and crazy things. We try to get the fans involved, throwing things into the stands. So it's
doing the YMCA.
The YMCA. So really, it's an experience, and we have a lot of Thursdays this year. I think we play home every Thursday, which is a fan favorite. So a lot of drink specials for those adults, and so come on out, after a stressful week and start your weekend with us. Every Thursday through June
Start
and
early.
July. Start early.
Yeah.
So that's some of the stuff we're working on this year.
Any new events for the kids that you've planned? Because every once in a while there's some new kind of fad that pops up, like the big inflatable balloons and the kids were inside. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, I have some interns this year that are working on coming up for some new promotional ideas. I like having interns that are fresh in college. They kind of have their pulse on what's going on. I've gotten older, needless to say.
Yeah.
So I'm not down with all the things that the kids are down with, so to speak. So, our interns, I really put them on that this year to kind of create some new ideas and research some new things that they think we could incorporate here.
Yeah, and you've got a new stable of interns and something different about that group as well, right?
Yeah, I mean, we have local kids coming from Frankfurt and Newport, and so we're excited to give those kids an opportunity that want to be in the sports world and really build their resume and kind of see what it's like and really get a full experience from.
And all guys this year.
It's all guys.
Usually it's girls, right?
For the first time, we have all guys. So, we'll see how that goes. But again, we're excited to have all of our staff and the interns. I think we'll get a great experience as well.
Yeah. And self-plug, we've done a pretty good job live streaming. Talk about that a little bit, about how people can see this thing and what we're doing.
Yeah, super excited. I do think we have the best live stream in the entire league. This year, it'll be a little different. You'll be able to access it through our website. It will be a paid service. It's going to be $10 per game. So how it's going to work, you go to our website, there'll be a link for live stream. You'll click on that link, and it'll bring you to another landing page where you will be able to purchase a ticket to that game to watch it at home for a low cost of it's $10. So again, it's just another way for us to bring our action of our games to the people, not only in the Mohawk Valley, but across the country. A lot of parents enjoy watching our games, and I think having video and audio with PA is something that we do probably better than anyone else, to be honest with you. So, and there's a cost with equipment, so that's why we have to, the $10.
Yes, there is.
It's at the end of the day, I don't think that's an outrageous price, and I think it's definitely worth the $10 for what the quality you're going to be getting.
And we're adding some new things in too. We're going to be doing some on-field interviews during the game. That's going to be Scotty Boy over here is going to be handling that. And then we're also looking at maybe miking players and having more in-depth interviews that we can play during the game of the players and who they are.
Yeah, and we're going to have to go to mic some players, mic coaches. I think what we really want to try to do is bring the fans as close to the field as possible. Right. We might even have mics on the bases. We don't know where we're going to put a mic. So
we're going to test that during the practice sessions.
So we'll see how it goes. But again, I think it just so even if you're home watching the game, you will still have an experience, and that's really what we want to do. Yes, people that are at the game will have one experience, but the people at home, we want you to also have an experience. So I think through our video productions and our live streams and our player interviews and all access kind of stuff, I think it's going to, people are going to really get to know who the Diamond Dogs are more than just on the field. Right. So I think I'm excited about that.
Yeah, I am too, actually. So the month of June, the month of July, playoffs are at the end of July, and you try to get that out of the way, and the kids go back home, right?
Yeah, it's the kids are locked in for basically 2 months, but when the season's over, they don't stick around. They want to go home. You got to remember, kids are coming directly from college. Some kids aren't even going home, right. So they'll finish their college season, pack up their stuff, and drive here. Yeah. So a lot of them, when the season's done, they want to go home, see their friends, see their families who they haven't seen probably since Christmas. The reality. So they've been playing and. So again, but when they're here, they're locked in. Our players are definitely want to have relationships with our fans, and you'll see them signing lots of autographs, walking through the crowd, sitting at our front gate, selling tickets. So when you come to a game, ask for a picture, just engage with the players, ask questions too. I think that we have a lot of local kids that want to know, how do you play college baseball? How do you become that high level college athlete? And even for parents, and talk to those players. They've been through it, and we have a lot of the players' parents too that come to our games, and those are opportunities that I think our fans and kids, whether it's baseball, basketball, or hockey,
don't say that again. We'll never get out of this podcast.
The recruiting process, I think, in how do you become that Division I athlete or junior college athlete, whatever it might be. Use the resources of the Diamond Dogs. We'll help anybody that we can.
Yeah, no, it's. I think some of the most memorable shots we've gotten are the ones we've gotten with the kids around a pitcher they're all signing and they're passing the ball down the line, and all the players are signing the ball, and those kids love it when they get it back. They're just crazy about it.
Yeah, those players are like rock stars of those kids.
They are.
Awesome.
They are, and I think that's why. To be honest with you, I think we have a reputation of being a place that players want to go to, because of our fan support, because of our sponsor support, and they see how the community gets behind them. And best advertising is a word of mouth, right? These guys go back to their colleges. They say, "Listen, you got to go to the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs. This place was rocking. It was crazy. People were there every night. They even follow us on away games." So I think that experience of the players too is extremely important, and that's a credit to our fans and our sponsors and people who come out and support these guys. And they like playing in front of packed houses too. They don't want to play in front of 50 people. Yeah. So the more support they have, I think they do play harder. I know it's it's probably that's the way it is. And when the fans get behind them and, they're rah-rah, the players will definitely go out there and play for them.
And how cool would that be, like a Diamond Dogs bus trip for the fans?
Yeah, and people have asked that, and, that's something we could do.
What would that be? What do you got in mind there?
So, I mean, obviously, like Amsterdam's one of the big rivals.
Right.
Right? You could actually just
we could bus up here and go to Amsterdam and harass the crap out of them.
Rent a bus, put a Dawgs fans full of it, and have the people in
The dog
Amsterdam
pound.
go, what is happening here?
Yeah, I think, hopefully we make the playoffs, and if we don't get a home playoff game, that is definitely something I think would be fun to do wherever we go, is get a bus and put a bunch of fans on it and, have, here we come. Here comes the dog pound. We're gonna roll in and we're gonna have some fun, and
we could talk to Mike George about a beer bus,
Perfect. Listen, that'd be better yet.
Look at, you see Scott's eyes light up. Oh my God, it'd be thirsty playoffs.
That's fun.
Is it the playoffs yet?
Not the playoffs.
The playoffs.
No, we're not there yet. So, our goal is to make the playoffs. And, I tell that to the players too. Listen, our expectation is you're going to get better. And if you don't get better, that's the player's fault. I'll be honest with you. That's what we tell them. They're not putting the work in. You don't want to put the work in, go home. And we've sent kids home.
Yeah.
You don't want to be here, go home. So this isn't Little League. This is, it's college summer ball. But, this is also about sometimes kids growing up and realizing what it's like to live outside their bubble. So again, I think it's going to be a good year. So I'm excited with our players, and hopefully we can make it to the playoffs and get that bus with to go with us there. That'd be fun.
That'd be awesome. We missed anything?
No, I think we're
covered
good.
It all. We're good.
We've covered it all for now. Home opener May 30th, and just hopefully the fan support just keeps coming out and doing what they've done the last 17 years as far as I've been involved. And I think the more people that come out, the better the team will play, and I think the better the experience for everybody will be. So
awesome. Appreciate your time today,
all right,
Travis.
thanks, guys.
All right, and that's the last bit of stuff we've got here, right, Scotty?
I think so.
We're ready to go. All right, we'll see you next time on Small Town Life.